From Triple E Media, I'm still Rahmat Muhammad, and this is still the backstory, but it's a mini episode.
Your power to change Nigeria is in your hands. Your voice and your power for change, oh my people, oh. It's not just the voters.
The fundamental difference between democratic government and autocratic government is that in a democracy, the people that are being governed, they get to vote. In order for democracy to work, people have to make choices.
Nigeria is calling on all her good people to arise and go to vote. Vote wisely, Nigeria. Our greatness depends on it.
Now, this power that people have to make choices is also the fundamental problem that democracy has to solve, because how do you motivate people to choose? Think about the last time that you made a choice about your life. Maybe it was the choice to stay at a job, or the choice to leave a job, the choice to stay in a relationship, or the choice to leave the relationship, the choice to buy a car, the choice to buy a house. Think about those major choices that you've made in your life. Odds are, those choices were made under some kind of pressure. Without pressure, most of us would be doing exactly what we were doing 1 year ago, 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago. If change is going to happen, pressure is absolutely necessary. And in Nigeria, like all other democracies, that pressure comes in the form of propaganda.
Stop corruption was the military's slogan when it seized power in Nigeria. It's had some initial success.
Now, during the military regimes, corruption was the propaganda of choice because it was an easy story to sell.
Ordinary Nigerians are understandably convinced that anything which goes wrong in their country is because of corruption.
On the one hand, you've got military that is disciplined by nature and therefore incorruptible by virtue of being disciplined. And on the other hand, you've got these wishy-washy, corruptible civilians that are best friends with each other one day and ready to kill each other the next.
In the sprawling slums of Lagos, the people welcome the coup because they know the wealthy spend millions of pounds on houses here and abroad.
But today, Lagos is no longer a slum, and we Nigerians know better. We know that it doesn't really matter who is in power, because as long as the systems of checks and balances are not enforced equally, corruption will always be there, even under the most honest of men. The corruption propaganda was sufficient to mobilize public opinion back then. But that propaganda is no longer as effective. You can't really mobilize the masses to vote on the story of corruption. We've been there. We've done that. We need new propaganda. Now, before I go on any longer, I want to be clear that the insecurity in Nigeria is very real. People are dying violent deaths. People's lives are unnecessarily disrupted by kidnappings, rapes, and other atrocities. The insecurity is real. And it's also the new propaganda. It's the new form of pressure that politicians are using to motivate and mobilize the masses to vote. And obviously, the underlying emotion underneath insecurity is fear. Fear is by far the easiest and fastest way to get anybody to do anything you want.
Baba, we are dying. Baba, we can't travel Kaduna to Abuja. Baba, we can't travel Kaduna to Abuja. Baba, they are killing us in Niger. Baba.
Now, there is one peculiarity about Nigeria's democracy that I find fascinating, which is this concept of fairness. Yes, we agree that the majority vote wins, but only if we can stack the deck ahead of time so that the outcome is fair. And when it comes to the role of the president, fairness means that we rotate the presidency from one region of the country to the other, from north to south, south to north. So the propaganda around Nigeria's presidential politics is multidimensional. Not only does the propaganda have to motivate people to choose to go out and vote, it also has to motivate them to choose the other side. and reject their own. From 2015, and we pray until 2023, Nigeria would have been ruled by President Muhammadu Buhari, a northerner. So it's time to prepare the masses to rotate. The North must be mentally prepared to reject their own leaders to make way for an alternative. But will the alternative be prepared to handle the very real security issues?
The Backstory Minisode is a Triple E Media production. Production copyright 2021 Triple E Media Productions.
This minisode of The Backstory was produced by
Rahmat Muhammad, Dominic Tabakaji, and Sam Tabakaji. Executive producer Rahmat Muhammad. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to hear more, subscribe to our YouTube channel at 234 Audio and turn on that notification bell. You can also listen to The Backstory on our website at 234audio.com, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in sponsoring or licensing this program, or if you just want to say hello, reach out to us on WhatsApp at 0818-230-1234. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Rahmat Muhammad. See you next week.